Okay, here we are, 7-5, using equations to solve applied problems, and this is going back to geometry class, so take a breath. All right. We have a picture of a rectangle, and it tells us a couple things. It says find this x, if the area is 90 square inches. 90 square inches. Well, we know that the area formula is length times width. So let's plug in what we do know. This would equal the area here, 90. So 90, and I'm going to leave the units off so I don't confuse people. So 90 square inches equals 15 times 2x. And we just need to solve this for x now. So 90 would equal 30x. And we would, of course, now divide both sides by 30. And x would equal 3. So x would equal 3 inches. 3 inches. Now, if we wanted to check that, we could, let me make sure this is rolling here. Yep. If we wanted to check that, we could plug in the 3 for the x here. And this would be, you would have a rectangle that was 15 this way and 2 times 3 this way. 2 times 3, which would be 6. So 6 times 15, as you can see, 6 times 15 would be 90. Okay, 6 inches times 15 inches would be 90 square inches. So that works. Let's look at the next one. These get progressively harder as we go here. All right, this is a cool problem. We got a guy named Juan. He's enlarging his patio, and that's like the cement slab or whatever, by increasing the width x feet. Now I have a picture drawn here, so that the new perimeter is 44 feet. Now remember, that's perimeter. The perimeter is 44 feet. We want to know, A and B, how much should the width be enlarged? In other words, what's x? Let's make a note there. That's just find x. And then we want to know, what will the new width of the patio be? So if this was, say, 4, the new width would be 5 plus 4, or 9. But we got to figure out what x is. Now remember, we're talking about perimeter here, which is distance around, not the area. Distance around this thing. The distance around is 44 feet. So let me draw a little sloppy picture here of this triangle, assuming that this is the whole thing. So it would include this whole dotted line here. It would include all of this. Okay? Get rid of that. So if we label this 12, and this side here would be 5 plus, we don't know, so 5 plus x. And this was a perimeter problem, then this side here would equal 12. And if you think you got this, go ahead and pause it and try it. This side over here would be 5 plus x. And that whole thing, the perimeter, would equal 44 feet. So we know that the perimeter is just all of this added together. So if we look at that, if we do 44 feet, I'll do it up here, 44 feet, a little brighter color, 44 feet would equal 12, just working my way around here, 12 plus this, plus this, plus this, 5 plus x plus 12 plus 5 plus x. If we add up all the numbers, that's going to be 12 and 5 and then 12 and 5 again. That's 17 plus 17, which is 34. Now what about the x's? Well, I have 1 here and I have 1 here. So that's going to be plus 2x. So 44 equals 34 plus 2x. So now how do we solve that? Well, we would subtract 34. This is a two-step problem now. We would subtract 34 from both sides. This would equal 10, and 2x equals 2x over here. And then we would just divide by the coefficient. We would divide by the coefficient. X would equal 5. So that answers part A. How much should the width be enlarged? 5. So now we know that this x here is 5. So the new width of the patio is just 5 plus 5. 5 plus 5 would equal 10. The new width is 10. All right. If that was a little shaky, go back, watch it again. Now the hard one. Some may think this is easier, some may think this is harder. We shall find out. Okay, now if you've watched the other video, the 6'3", I believe, video on Damien's height, we talked about two people being compared to a height, or there was Sam's salary in the other problem from 6'3". This, let me read this. It says a triangle has a perimeter of 120 meters. Let's write that here. Perimeter equals 120 meters. That's important later on. The length of the second side is double the first side. Okay, then it says the length of the third side is 12 meters longer than the first side. So they're both being compared, look, to the first side. Okay, they're both being compared to the first side. So when we define our expressions, we're going to let the first side equal L. Then the second side, well, let's review. The second side is double the first side, so that's 2L. And the third side of the triangle is 12 meters longer than the first side, so that would be L plus 12. And that satisfies part A. Part B says write the equation. Well, what equation? Well, that's the perimeter equation. And we know that if you have a triangle, okay, not to scale in any way, shape, or form here, but if the first side is, say, L, and this is L plus 12, and this is 2 times L, that's actually not a bad-looking scale triangle there. Well, sort of, but you get the idea. To find the perimeter of that, we add all these up, and it's equal to 120. Okay, we add all these up, so that's going to be L, that's the first side. The second side was 2L. The third side is L plus 20, and that all equals the perimeter. Because, look, the perimeter is when I add these three things together. That equals 120. So this plus this plus this is 120. That's part B. Part C says solve the equation. So we need to add these L's up. Okay, we need to add the L's together. So I got how many? Well, I got 1 here. I have 1 here. So I have 1L plus 2L plus 1 more L would be 4L plus 12 equals 120. And you can see what's going to happen here. This is a two-step equation. I'm going to solve this now. I subtract 12 from both sides. 4L equals 120 minus 12 equals 108. And then I divide both sides by 4. And L, if you divide 108 by 4, it goes in there 27 times evenly. So the length is 27. That would be meters. But if we look back at what the question asks us, the question asks us, find the length of each side. So we need to find the length of each side. Well, if L's 27, that means that if I go to my drawing here, this is 27 meters. This is 27 plus 12 meters, which is 39. So one side's 27, one side's 39, and this would be 2 times L, which is 27. So that'd be 2 times 27, which is 54. Part D says check your answer. I'll do that in some kind of orange color here. So checking my answer would mean the perimeter, which is 120, that should equal these blue circles here. These blue circles added together, and it would be 27 plus 39 plus 54. And if we take our calculators and add 29 plus, or 27 plus 39 plus 54 together, we get 120. Thank goodness. This is 120, and this equals 120. So this works. This checks. This will be checking your answer. These problems are a little bit on the tough side, but you can totally do this. It has to do with algebra skill, not guessing, and working out the process. Have a good one.